Darn you, Anastasia, I shall destroy you.
Welcome to Love in Brief, a brief, sometimes ABDL podcast focused on issues of love.
Love.
Oh, yeah. Love for self.
Yep.
Love for community.
Yep.
Love for partners.
Yeah.
And let's say today, caregiving.
Love for caregiving.
Oh, yeah.
Man, oh, man. This is a topic near and dear to my heart.
Oh, same
and
here.
And yours as well, I know.
Absolutely, yes. I am a caregiver through and through. I've been excited about this topic for basically ever.
Yep.
Would love to have a great discussion today. Learn more about myself, too. I mean, I'm in a dynamic. We can talk about that, but I'm not an expert. I don't think anybody is. And let's just trade some notes and have some fun.
I can't wait. I was in a CGL relationship for a long time, and now I'm in a different type of relationship. So revisiting caregiving sounds really fun to me.
Well, let's start there. What is CGL exactly?
Oh, thank you for asking, Teddy. Yeah, so in the world of ABDL, we talk about CGL as a caregiver little. So in this particular case, little being the age play side of it, and the caregiver being the dynamic of the person who takes care of that little.
Yep.
And I loved it. And there were ups and downs, right? There are parts that are easy and parts that are hard.
Oh, yeah.
But Lola and I don't have a CGL relationship. We have a Dom-Sub relationship. And so I'm really excited to revisit CGL.
Yeah. And it'll be fun to kind of talk about how those kind of interplay, too.
Yeah.
Because CGL can be
It can be
Dom-Sub.
both.
Yeah, and I'll call out too. CGL is kind of the non-gender term for this. You might also see DDLG, Daddy Dom Little Girl, or DDLB. I know we did an episode about that.
Daddy Dom Little Boy.
Yep. So
or MDLB, Mommy Dom Little Boy.
Yep, comes in all sorts of shapes and forms.
Yep.
But kind of the same overarching topic here, caregiving. We hear a lot about littles and kind of what they get out of this.
Yeah.
But what do caregivers get out of this? Like, why are there caregivers here? And why are they giving up this part of themselves in support of somebody who is more little or wants to regress?
I have talked to so many littles over the years who have been like, I don't understand what they get out of this.
Right.
Which is kind of a beautiful space to be in where both of you feel lucky,
Yeah.
But who are like, why does a caregiver do it? Like, it seems like a lot of work.
Yeah.
And the answer is because it's incredibly rewarding.
So fulfilling.
Yeah,
so
but let's
fulfilling.
talk about that.
Absolutely. So I am so excited to introduce our guest for this podcast.
Can I introduce you first? We haven't introduced ourselves.
That would be helpful, yeah.
I am ResonantYes, and you are Teddy.
I am Teddy, and I am actually across the table from you once again. So.
We are physically sitting in the same room, which makes a huge difference. I'm so excited that you're here.
Yes, it's good to be back. Good to be back.
For sure.
All right, so our guests, we have two guests today. Our first guest is Foxie. Foxie's been with her husband Bunny for 21 years and married for 19. She was introduced by him to diaper wearing in 2006. Being a caregiver in a kinky form became part of their relationship in 2016. So Foxie, I would love to know, tell us about your love.
My love is family and health at the moment. Yeah.
I love that. Hopefully that means good health. Hopefully you guys are
certainly
good
health.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Good.
But just health in general.
Yeah.
Mental, physical, all of the nine. Yeah.
I'm glad you call that out. It's something that you kind of take for granted until you don't have good health. That's been my experience.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. And I should call out, by the way, it's morning, which is a weird time to record a podcast about sex and diapers. But you both are just heroes for saying yes to a morning recording of Love and Brief. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so
thank
much.
you for having me. Absolutely.
For sure.
And some of our listeners might recognize your voice. I believe you were last on the podcast a while back. I think it was episode 101, Professional Mommying. So, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you.
And I was just saying we need to do a part 2 on that one. I know that you've said that you have a client coming in this weekend. I think it's just such a wonderful wonderful space to talk about. So we got to come back to professional mommying part 2. So Foxie, keep your phone at the ready.
I sure will. I'm ready. I'm ready now. So whenever you're ready.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, our second guest is Arsen. Arsen is a musician, a teacher, an audiobook narrator, and a member of the ABDL community for almost 2 decades now. You may know him from cons like CapCon and BFC, that's Baby FurCon, where he has consistently put on his music classes and recently a full musical.
Yes.
I'd love to know more about that, yeah. But just a quick plug, I was at the class at CapCon with my partner Toki. Absolutely the highlight of CapCon for me this last year. When I think of that event, I think of that class and that choir performance. And I'm sure he can tell us more about that. But first, Arsen, tell us about your love.
Absolutely. I'm actually across the table from you as well, just separated by a few hundred miles.
I can feel your presence
Yep,
here.
yep. Oh, is that you over there? Okay,
No,
I
that's
see you. I see
I
you.
can see him.
Yeah. I'm waving. You just need
Oh,
the...
yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah,
there.
hi. My love right now is gardening. So
Oh.
I started gardening about 3 years ago, and I think it's just become an even more passionate thing for me since I started. It's become more and more chaotic, actually.
The garden has become chaotic, or the gardening has become chaotic?
Oh, both.
Oh,
Definitely
both.
both.
Okay, fair.
I go to Home Depot like once every week now, and every time I leave with a new plant that I have to somehow figure out where to put and what to do with.
Yep. I can't wait to see the garden at the end of the season. I bet it's going to be overrun and beautiful.
Yes, both of those things.
I'm curious now already. Like, does nurturing plants at all have any overlap with nurturing littles?
Oh.
Yeah, I see the
Is
theme
this
here.
your caregiver coming to life in the
Right.
garden?
Absolutely. Because I think there's a lot of parallels that run with caregiving as far as gardening goes. Because you have to do research on what the plant needs, how much sun does it need, how much water does it need, what kind of fertilizer does it need, what kind of habitat are you creating for it? Are you checking in on it once every day, which you should probably do more of if you have a little.
If you have a little, yeah. The nice thing is littles produce their own fertilizer, but let's move on. I do want to second, Arsen, that I was also at the music class at CAP, and I think I talked about it on the podcast. I
think we did,
was
yeah.
just one of the highlights of CAP, if not like a peak moment for me. I had so much fun learning how to sing in round. I watched you teach a room full of willing adults how to sing in harmony.
Yeah.
In like an hour, we were doing 3-4 songs and performing.
A choir performance
In front of a
hundreds
group of people.
watching it.
Just incredible. I think what you do is remarkable.
Well, thank you so much. It is one of the big joys of my life to teach music. And yeah, I guess I relate that to caregiving as well. I love to give that experience to people, to give them an experience that maybe they haven't had in a while, or maybe that they've never had, that puts them in a position that might make them uncomfortable at first, but they're glad they did it, and they're glad they were courageous.
Yeah, that's a perfect description, I think, of everybody came in going, I don't know if I can sing. I don't know if I'm not a singer. Like, is this okay? And everybody left so full of pride and so thoroughly happy with themselves and with the experience.
My partner, Toki, was in that performance, and she was incredibly nervous going into it. She was like, should I do this? I'm not sure if I should do this. But her friends were there right in the front row.
Yeah.
We had met some of them at CapCon, and so like, yeah, come on in, Toki. Let's just have fun. And by the end, she was giving the performance, and I was just watching her there with tears in my eyes, just like so proud of her as a daddy. And she came running to me afterwards and just gave me this biggest hug. And
I love
it. I found you, Arsen, I think on the last day at the con, and just said thank you so much for that experience. Yeah, it was great.
I think that experience of pride as a caregiver is, we talked about what's fulfilling about it. That's one of them. Like, I helped you do something you've never done before. You just well up with pride.
Yeah.
And actually, Teddy, I should say, as a caregiver yourself, I might be throwing some questions to you.
Sure, yeah.
You have a wonderful CGL dynamic, and you are figuring things out as you go, just like everybody. So I may ask you some questions.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to start. Our first question from the beginning, I guess, what is your, let's say, origin story for caregiving? Like, when did you first know about this part of yourself? What were some of the signs? Foxie, maybe we'll start with you.
Oh, goodness. I feel like some of the signs came from even as a teenager, once puberty hits, once you realize you even want to be a real mother, speaking for myself, of course. As a teenager, I was like, I'm going to have 6 kids. That's just...
Oh, wow. Yeah,
that's just where I'm headed in my... Like, I was ready. As an adult, it kind of manifested, because I did not have 6 kids. It manifested into me offering that sort of care to my partner at the time, in little ways, finding out what they did enjoy, not even realizing that's what was going on, getting them little stuffies that catch their eye, getting them a book from their childhood that just brings back that feeling of joy. And it just growing from there and not even realizing that that is exactly what's taking place as I'm offering care to this particular person that I've now been with, as you've mentioned, for 21 years. And it just growing and growing into what it is today as I am introduced to more things and what it means. So that would be my origin for sure.
You were kind of just naturally doing this, that it was an outcropping of something that's always been inside you.
Yeah.
That you were sort of naturally doing this and then discovered that that's what you were doing.
And then discovered later, like, oh my goodness, this is me.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's almost like the factory installed DL idea, right? It's just like an inherent personality trait or interest.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I can relate to that a little bit too, yeah.
I don't know if there were any particular triggers. I honestly believe it was just puberty based,
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember when I was in high school, I mean, I had some romantic crushes on some people, and like my main thing was I didn't want to like go and have sex with them. I was like, I wanted to open the car door for them and like buckle their seatbelt.
Yeah.
Like that was just inherent in me even back then. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could even take it further back to wanting to play with baby dolls and taking care of baby dolls.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that's a part of caregiving that a lot of people maybe miss if they are not sort of one of those caregivers or don't feel is sort of naturally built that way, is that it feels just as much a part of me as every other part of my kink. You know what I mean? Like it was there from day one, and I've been fantasizing about it from day one.
Yeah.
It's not like I learned it as an adult.
Right. Definitely. I don't know if I've necessarily considered myself fantasizing as much as wanting to live it out and making it a reality, whatever it is, just putting that action forward. I feel like I've been pretty spoiled in my life to live somewhat of a feral existence, if you will, and just being able to act out whatever comes to mind or heart.
What a wonderful way to live.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where happiness comes from. Arsen, I would love to hear your origin story. Did anything there kind of strike a chord with you?
Oh, absolutely. I love this idea, by the way, and Foxie, you can correct me on this. I don't think of caregiving or ABDL as role playing necessarily. It's just a part of myself that I am acting out. Is that how you feel as well?
Absolutely. I insist on all of my actions being natural. I know I take a lot of photos and those photos are staged, but those particular photos are actual moments that we're having, and then I'll say, oh, we've got to capture this and share. People would want to be a part of this one way or another. It's just living.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree fully.
I was going to say, Teddy, is that your experience as well?
Exactly. I feel like I'm not role playing. I'm just being my full self. Like I found somebody who wants the kind of love that I can give, and that love that I give is caregiving.
Yeah. Arsen, how did this show up for you early on? Like, but maybe before you're in your current relationship, did you know that this was a part of you, and how did it show up?
It's been a very long journey. But like Miss Foxie, this is something that showed up at puberty, like almost coinciding with puberty. You get on your Windows 95 computer, you look up a few things.
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
You decide that you're going to make this your whole personality for the rest of your life.
You basically described my entire high school career right there. I got on my Windows 95 and I found this, and now it's my whole life. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I still have some of those original images and stories that I found online on a floppy disk somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
In some tin somewhere in the closet. And after that, I was just like, this is what I'm working towards. This is what I need in my life. And now 20 years out, I have it, and it's made me into a better person. And I feel so happy and lucky to be there. Yeah. But let me tell you, it was a long road getting there.
Well, that's some of what I want to learn about is what was the process like of getting there?
Well, it wasn't accepting that part of myself that was hard. It was accepting that I needed it in a relationship.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there is a moment in a lot of ABDLs where they're like, hey, I really like this, but is this a realistic thing to want? And is it something that I can have?
Yeah. Yep.
And so I had a lot of vanilla relationships with a lot of wonderful people. And there was, it was actually my previous relationship with like a vanilla little that I was like, okay, I can settle with this. I can still read them stories. I can still take care of them in a lot of the ways that I like. But then, you know, the diaper part rears its ugly head.
As it will. Yeah.
As it will. And I realized that it was such an integral part of caregiving for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was such an integral part of sexuality for me.
Yeah.
And so I had to break that relationship off, and that it was so heartbreaking. And it was at that moment that I realized that I couldn't hurt people like that anymore. I needed to commit to ABDL fully. And that commitment, that development that I made has made me into a better person, and it's made me into a better partner as well.
It sounds like you can be your full self. Like you really looked in the mirror and said, well, this is an important part of my identity, the caregiving and the ABDL side of it in particular. And you realize that you need this in any future relationships. And I can relate to that experience too.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've said before on this podcast about, you know, going to Tumblr and looking around these different blogs and seeing what interests you, you know, and that was me back after high school, after college, I think, looking at Tumblr and seeing these DDLG blogs, in particular in the ABDL community. And I got really jealous.
Yeah.
And you know, jealousy can be a bad feeling, but after a while, I mean, I use that kind of feeling of like, wow, this is actually really important to me. If I'm feeling jealous of this, I want this in my relationship.
Yeah.
And so in my first relationship, I brought this up to her. I was like, hey, look, these are really cute blogs. Like, what do you think? Ultimately, you know, we gave it a try. I credit her for, you know, wanting to participate and act this out, but ultimately it just wasn't her thing.
Yeah.
And through other circumstances, you know, we broke it off. And then now after that, I use that knowledge I gained from, you know, being online, talking to others to kind of guide my decisions. And it sounds like you did more of the same thing, right?
Oh, absolutely. With all of my long-term partners, that ABDL and caregiving, they knew it was a part of me. They gave it their best shot. They wanted to make the relationship work. And it just wasn't a part of them like it was a part of me.
I have to say, I talk to so many people who even have issues with just getting to that point, getting someone to agree to this particular type of dynamic with them. So congratulations on finding that. I imagine it comes with self-confidence in how you relay this information to the person that you want to explore this with.
Absolutely.
Which is what I share with many. But that's such a huge thing just within itself. So job well done.
For sure. Yeah. And Foxie, I am curious about that. When you're giving this advice to people, what tends to prompt it and what do you tell them?
A lot of it is prompted from the self-shame that they're feeling, the discomfort that they're feeling within themselves, and building confidence. And just kind of giving them some samples of or ideas on how to talk to someone about being an ABDL, how to talk to someone about your personal interest, not necessarily your interest in what they'd like for them to do for you, especially if this is first conversation, but more so what you're into on your end, and just building from there. And some beautiful relationships have come from it. And, you know, those also come and go, but some don't. Some stick around. And I think that's awesome. I always kind of give a little clap for that.
Yeah. I mean, what you're speaking to, both Arsen and Foxie, is so important. And I think is sort of a theme of this podcast in general, which is at some point you have to come to terms with your own truth.
Yep.
Yes.
And for some people, that's going to mean I really cannot successfully be myself in the world without this. And for other people, it's, I just want this to be a small part of my life, or I just want to do it, every third weekend, whatever. But like, you have to come to terms with your truth. And that's step one. Step two is sharing that truth with others.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And that's so hard to do. And what's funny is how often I get questions. As an advice podcast, we get a lot of questions. And one of the questions I get most often is, how do I tell my partner? And my first response is always, have you talked to yourself? Have you had the conversation with you that you need to have?
You have to own it. You have to be okay with that side of yourself. Yep.
Right. Like, tell you the things you need to hear. And Arsen, one of the things I'm hearing from you is you had to reconcile that this caregiver in you wasn't going away, and that it needed to be part of your relationship.
Oh, yeah. Not just that it had to be a part of the relationship, like every once in a while, but it had to be a core part of the relationship.
Yes.
It was that I realized how strongly I needed this, like, all the time.
Yeah.
How did you go about communicating that to the people you were talking to about this potential dynamic relationship?
See, I think there was a little bit of shame when I was starting out in long-term relationships, because I never wanted to be direct about it. In two of the other relationships that I've had that are not, that were mostly vanilla, I asked them to guess.
I want you to guess my kink. That's fun.
and they would guess over the course of maybe a couple weeks, and they were never happy with getting the right answer.
Oh, that's funny. So when they got the right answer, they're like, "Oh no, it's that one."
They would never say "oh no," but they would be like, "Oh,
interesting."
Yeah.
It's so funny you say that too. When I first introduced diapers to my first partner, that's literally what I did. I asked, like,
I want you to
this
guess.
kink. Guess what it is. It's actually, I asked her, what is the weirdest kink you can think of?
Oh no.
And no shit, she said diapers the first try.
No kidding.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Which was good and bad, right? Because it's good because, well, she knew about it, and she wasn't like, she knew it wasn't about the P word, the pedophilia, all that sort of terrible stuff that's associated with it. But also, okay, she thinks it's weird, which fair. I mean, it is, but
wow.
Yeah.
Straight out of the gate, that was the one.
I mean, we were like a month or two in, but
no, but I mean, that was the first guess.
Oh, it was. Yes. Yeah.
What a trick.
I still cannot believe that. Yeah, I know. But yeah, to your point, like, if you can feel confident about this side of yourself, not just the ABDL side, but also the caregiver side, you know, I mean, like, I'm a nurturer. I really want to take care of you. I want to, regress you, make you feel small, make you feel loved and safe. Like, those things I feel like aren't that far out there. Like, isn't that what elements of that should be in a relationship, but also I want to keep you in diapers too. So.
Yeah, there is the diaper part. I do wonder, I think, sort of the elephant in the room that I think a lot of people who are not in a sort of CG dynamic might be wondering, what the hell do you get out of it? This is a lot of work, guys. And Arsen, maybe I'll start with you, but what do you get out of being a caregiver?
I love how I see myself become a better person, because let's be honest. There is a lot of stuff in caregiving that's just it's a pain in the butt, because it forces you to be responsible.
Yeah. You got to be an adult about shit.
I know. But in that, there are so many wonderful things that come out of it. Like we were mentioning before, seeing a little go through a little bit of discomfort to see them grow. Like, amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. I love watching them become better people as well every single day, because I'm helping guide them.
Yeah.
Just like gardening, I get to see them grow into a beautiful tree that I get to take care of, admire every single day.
You really did set up the perfect analogy with this gardening thing. That's really good.
I wrote it down.
Yeah, perfect.
You're prepared.
Yeah. Foxie, how about you? What do you get out of caregiving? Again, it can be a lot of work. It can be some responsibility. What do you get out of it?
I consider being in a relationship in general a lot of work if you truly care about the individual that you're with.
For sure.
So it doesn't necessarily add more work for me. It just adds joy. Now, there are times, as a person who has a family, we don't get to participate. More so than not, we don't get to participate.
Yeah.
So when we do, it's just pure joy and high energies for both of us. It's just a dopamine hit watching your little just melt into that space. And it could be like anywhere from like older brat to just speechless and wiggly.
Yeah.
And it's just adorable seeing them in their happiest, most secret
so
moment. It really is. And quite the dopamine hit for both of us. And I also enjoy power dynamics.
Yep.
Outside of that, I'm a 5'2" female, and my husband is 6'1". So just watching him lose his alpha male and melt into this littleness for me, making himself smaller than my 5'2" is
Oh my goodness.
So cute.
it's another hit. You know what I mean?
You are warming my heart and my crotch at the same time. That is just so hot. I love this, that like you are able to create a space and exist in a space that you enjoy where that power dynamic can happen. Because
Right.
I find power dynamic crazy hot.
Oh, yes.
And you describing the 6'1" alpha male sort of melting into this smaller than 5'2" person is just incredible.
Oh, yes. I call him Bunny because in his adult self, he's truly a lion. So, you know.
From lion to bunny. Oh,
that's
so
so
it.
cute.
That's it.
I'm dying. Teddy, I mean, you also have had this rich experience. What do you get out of caregiving?
Yeah, I mean, something that Foxie just said kind of reminds me of this concept that I call a caregiver space. We talk about little space a lot, but I feel like I fall into a caregiver space when I'm in this sort of soft environment.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the vulnerability of making Toki feel safe and loved and special, and just making her feel small. That makes my heart just light up.
Yeah.
It makes me feel so fulfilled. Like my nurturer self is being met, you know. And so an example, I mean, I've had terrible insomnia for most of my life. But when I go through the bedtime routine with Toki, you know, the diapering, the bedtime story, the bottle, and then ultimately, you know, holding her as my little spoon, cuddling her close. And then I'll just whisper in her ear, like, you're safe, you're loved. And my heart is just so at ease. I'm in that caregiver space and I fall asleep right away.
Is
with
that
her.
so?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
The best sleeping pill I could ever have is just holding her. And I get so much out of that. That part of it's not sexual for me at all. It's literally just, here's who I am. Here's my personality. I want to nurture somebody, make them feel loved and safe.
Yeah.
And it just, everything feels right in that moment.
I can so identify. And I have also struggled with insomnia most of my life. And this as a sleeping pill is a good prescription.
Yes.
That's really, really good.
Right.
I think that your notion of caregiver space is illuminating for me because we do talk about little space a lot. And I don't think we give nearly enough credit to how wonderful being a caregiver can feel.
Yeah.
And it can feel that way in a heartwarming way, in a fulfilling way. It can feel that way in a hot way, in a sexual way, all of it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the stressors just fall away. You know, if I've had a long day at work, I get so one track mind with just what's in front of me with her and everything's okay. I'm curious from our guests, does that strike a chord with you? Do you feel that kind of caregiver space when you're interacting with your partners?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think I feel somewhere in between where Foxie's sexuality and power dynamics, and Teddy, your CG space that is completely non-sexual. I can feel both, and it's. I think both are beautiful.
Me too. Foxie, when you engage in this caregiving space, we've talked about fulfillment, but talk to me about the power dynamic. How do you create power dynamic in a caregiver space?
I come from a little bit of teasing and humiliation. Just implementing that, depending on who you're playing with, as I call it, can really just create a space just from the get-go, just reminding someone that they're little. I almost forgot the question, actually.
No. I'm thoroughly interested in how you create dynamic.
Yes. So this is how I create it. Yes, definitely. It's all verbal for the most part, with some physical aspects, patting the bottom, whether there's a diaper on there or not. A lot of our play, due to our situation, is very private, very secretive.
Very subtle, yeah.
Very subtle. Whispers in the ear, reminding them how little they are. A lot of teasing. Are you going to have an accident now that you're not wearing a diaper? Those sort of things.
Yeah. I'm lighting up like a Christmas tree. This is so good.
I do want to dive into that sexual versus non-sexual space. I mean, because there's definitely elements of both, right? I mean, so speaking personally, yes, when I'm just caregiving, just being sweet, creating a safe space, that is non-sexual for me. But that's when, if you layer in the ABDL side of it, if you layer in the elements of control, consensual control, and the rules aspects, that's hot.
Yeah,
that's hot. Right?
That's what switches it up for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And as a demi, just for me, it's just with my partner. But I know for others, maybe there's babysitting arrangements and whatnot that you can, or scenes you can do. So, I mean, is that kind of what your experience has been, Arsen? Because I know you mentioned there's, some of the ABDL fulfillment side of it. Is that kind of geared more towards the sexual fulfillment for you?
As soon as I add the humiliation aspect into it, that's what makes it sexual for me. I love teasing, and what I have the exact opposite thing with Foxie, because my partner is like 5 foot, and I love using my size to make my partner feel small in a sexual way, and in an age play way.
What does that look like, Arsen, to use your size to help your partner feel small?
One of my favorite things to do with both my partners is just picking them up. They don't get a choice in it. I pick them up, especially if they're feeling a little fussy. Give them a little pat on the bottom, give them some bounces, and 15 seconds, everything's fixed.
Oh, that's so cute.
We go to the bedroom.
Yeah, right. 15 seconds, it goes one way or the other. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Foxie, you're in such a different situation where you, stature-wise, are the smaller of the two. How do you create physical experiences that help your partner feel little and help you feel like a caregiver?
Okay, I can also pick him up. I can give him a piggyback ride.
Oh, love it.
Cute.
But we have a hot tub. So in this hot tub, I sit him in my lap and I bounce him. I don't know if you guys have seen this Cosby episode where he bounces the little boy on the knee so hard. And he's just flopping around everywhere. But anyways, I put him on my lap and I give him that little heavy bounce in the hot tub, or nice slow, just swaying experience. Yeah. And he's just off his feet and he's just loving it. And he just lays back and just takes it all in.
Yeah.
And, just within my I use my confidence a lot. I think people think I'm taller than what I am. Because I'm very stern. I'm also very nurturing, but whichever direction I'm going, I do so with full confidence and meaning. And that really works.
I experienced that being in person with you, Foxie, that you were able to turn that on. And I think that it is such a great point to underscore that, if you happen to be larger physically in stature than your partner, okay, awesome. There are ways that you can use that, but you don't have to be. And it really is about energy. And you can be 5 foot and your partner can be 6'5". It doesn't matter. You can bring a confident caretaker energy that is a little bit assertive, is very loving, however you want to show up as a caretaker. And boy, oh boy, even speaking as that partner, right? So we switch. And when I do little time, I'm 6+. I'm 245 pounds. I'm not a small human. And I feel small. And Lola is a small human in all respects, and she feels caretaker. So I'll just reinforce what you said, Foxie, that it really is about the energy you bring to it. And then if you happen to be able to pick your partner up in a piggyback or carry them or whatever, great.
Right.
But you also called out being in the hot tub. I love the idea of immersing in water because it does remove the weight element.
Yep.
And you can, like, if you can get in a pool or a hot tub and hold your partner that way, that is so cute.
It's a must. You have to.
Yeah.
We do have a public pool that we share with others. And yes, I've definitely have picked him up. He's picked me up in the pool, and we just play around. Nothing
So cute.
over the top that makes it aware of what we're doing. Just a show of affection is just really how it looks, and playfulness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I
yeah.
know you talked about you've got others in the home, so it's not a place that you can be completely 24/7. Arsen, you're, as I understand it, in a different situation, and feel free to share as much or as little about that as you want. But it sounds like you may be able to do more full time or constant sort of play. How do you decide when we're going to do CGL dynamic?
It's like we were talking about earlier. It's all about scheduling. Before I get into that, Foxie, to your point, and going back to a previous point as well, we're creating this large map of points right now. Confidence is one of the reasons why I love this dynamic so much. I think there's a special dynamic that comes with handling a little that brings out a confidence in me that I only really feel when I'm teaching.
Yeah. I can relate to that. Yeah.
Those two experiences sort of mirror each other.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can allow myself to feel differently in both spaces, but that confidence is part of the high of being a caregiver.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many positive emotions and traits that come out of me, I feel, when I'm in that caregiver space. You know, I'm attentive to the needs of the little. I'm nurturing. I am communicative. Very, very important to communicate. You know, I mean, I want to encourage that for my little, and also, you know, give that back so we can kind of meet each other where we're at.
Yeah.
I can be creative. I'm not a very creative person by default, but, you know, I'm trying to create games or story times. It's just fun. It makes it fun.
I do think, I'm so glad you hit on this, because being a caregiver, it sounds like, okay, I was born a caregiver and then I just started doing it. But it doesn't work that way. I was born wanting, I think, like for my entire life, to have this role, both in a relationship and just in my life in general. But I wasn't born knowing how to do it. And taking on the role actually forced me to try things and get confident and learn how to do things, and even assume an air that I wasn't ready for. Like, okay, I'm going to try and be daddy today. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to try.
Right.
And it made me a better person. Like it forced me in a wonderful way to try on parts of my personality that then stuck. And I went, oh, I actually am good at this. Ooh. And oh, I actually can do this. And I would attribute caregiving to a giant chunk of the RY that we know today, because I had to learn as I went.
Likewise, my friend. I mean, with work confidence, when I was training people at my old job, when I'm talking to people in the streets, if I go to a munch and somebody's there for the first time, I try to bring that sort of soft voice, that consideration of like, this is a really scary moment for them. How can I meet them where they're at?
Yeah.
If they're coming to one of my events, I'll be at the door ready to just greet them and say, hi, welcome in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it really has made me a better person.
Yeah. I'm really glad that we hit on that. I think, you know, we talked about watching your little grow and how fulfilling that is.
But vice versa.
Watching yourself grow and having your little see you grow. Yeah. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
And you learn quick, too, because you get that immediate reaction from your little if you're trying something new. And you know immediately, based on their face, before they even say anything, whether it works or not.
Yes. And you have to give each other, and this is true in all things kink and relationship, but you have to give each other permission to fail and to try something on and be like, I'm going to be a real daddy about this, or I'm going to be a real caregiver about this. And then you do it wrong and it's stupid and it doesn't work. And then you both laugh at it and go, okay, like we'll try something else. The same way that a little does, right? They try something and you're like, oh, that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
You have to give yourself, you don't have to be perfect at this.
Like any other kink dynamic, it's about communication and negotiations too. When you first meet, you know, I mean, obviously if you're long-term partners, they'll know each other very well, what works for them, what doesn't. But just like going into a scene, like you have to discuss these things. You know, if you're making a rules list for your little, that's a negotiation. You know, you're talking about, hey, here's what I want from my side. It would be fulfilling for me. Here's what your needs are. You know, what sort of ways can you help guide them to be the best version of themselves they can be? If they're struggling struggling with something. But that takes a lot of empathy. You really have to know that person deeply.
Yes.
And communicate to get to a point where it works for both of you.
Yeah.
And rework it constantly too.
Yep.
So,
I would like. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say it's like a vanilla relationship, but like on steroids with
For
communication.
sure.
You have to be so attentive.
Yep.
And even as someone who is in a long distance relationship, this is a different aspect of that relationship that is not explored unless communicated. So it is still something that has to be learned, something that has to grow, and definitely communicated. What works for you? What doesn't work for you? What brings you the most joy? And it doesn't always have to necessarily be in the form of verbalizing it, because there's so many shy people out there, but more so showing it. Or if you don't feel comfortable enough to verbalize it, write it down. Send it in a cute little flirty text. There's so many reels and memes out there. Send it in picture form.
Yeah.
Just look at this. Bun still does that because he's quite shy, and I'll have to tell him, "Hun, I'm not a mind reader. What would you like?"
What does this mean?
Yeah. What does this mean? What would you like? So he sends me little clips of this or that he's into, and I add it, and those clips still come to me today, this many years later.
That's
and
cute.
so we're constantly still growing, constantly still learning.
Good for you.
Finding new little sparks to keep that ABDL dynamic alive.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
Do either of you have any fun rules like that you like to talk about? Maybe put some examples to what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
My rules are very, very functional. I think it's important to discuss ABDL and CG not just as a kink, but as taking care of each other as well.
Yeah.
And so one of the obvious ones that I think a lot of people would put on the rules list, you need to have a certain amount of water.
Yep.
Something I've been working with my meta currently is working on getting a nap schedule for Bambi. And that has been such a fun thing to do. And I think that relates more to the question that you had previously about a 24/7 dynamic, is that it's a lot easier to implement things like that. Obviously, there's times where we're on, times where we're off, but having those rules really helps keep us in the moment and as it's a small reminder of the relationship we have.
Yeah.
Do you have rules, Foxie, for Bunny that I know you can't be 24/7 in the dynamic. Do you have rules or things that you kind of ask Bunny to do?
I have asks and I have check-ins. Have you had enough water today? Have you gotten in your movement? He loves mountain biking. And as much as I enjoy mountain biking with him, he just does not get in enough exercise when he's riding with me. He's like touring while I'm sweating.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
So just making sure he's getting in his proper movement. Asking him, like we actually just started this one recently. He has his 3 needs, his main needs. So I will ask him or implement one of his 3 needs. I don't know if I want to go into those.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But I'll ask, do you need this, or I can go over 2. One of them is, would you like a diaper? And the other one is, would you like a cup of tea? But, that third one I'm just going to leave in the bedroom.
Okay, you guys can keep that one. I'm deeply intrigued, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've identified the needs of Bunny, and now you're acting on them. You're helping to make sure that he meets those goals. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have identified them because he has specifically communicated them with me.
Yes. And you've empowered him to do that. It's not just, hey, here's what I want.
No.
It's, what are your needs? How can I help you?
Yeah.
That's right. Creating an open space to report his needs to me with confidence.
Right.
That is such an important lesson. Like that you created a space. He stepped into that space. So you had to have the bravery and foresight to create the space. He had to have the bravery and foresight to step into it and say, I'm going to tell you what my needs are. And I think oftentimes we we think that you ought to just know what your partner needs, or if you really love them, you would pick up on it. And that's horse shit.
That's
like,
true.
it's so good that you made a space and said, tell me what you need. And he said, here's the 3 things I need above all the other things.
Yeah.
And you went, great. I will speak in those terms to you.
And it's not just being brave enough on my end and offering the open space. It's a matter of how you offer it and the kind of energy that you're putting into that space, and ensuring that you're leaving it completely open emotionally for that particular person to not feel judged in any way as they're sharing this with you. And as well as how you choose to respond to that information. If you give even a bit of a grimace, and it doesn't even have to be about what they've said, it's going to be a complete turnoff to that particular person and make them feel slightly guilty that they even brought it up.
Which puts the onus on you that when you're asking, you have to ask with a whole heart. Like if you don't mean it, you're not ready to ask, which is okay. But I know the feeling of what it's like to sort of reluctantly say, oh, good, tell me what you need. But I'm actually like harboring some resentment and I'm not ready for it. And then I'm sure that my face would have read ick or whatever, because I wasn't actually asking. Like I was in a space where I thought I should ask. So good for you for creating the space where you're like, I genuinely mean it.
Yes.
And good for him for saying, here's what I need.
I want to call attention to something here too, is the word respect. Like I'm hearing deep respect for our partners, for the littles in this dynamic. It's not just, I want you in a diaper, go wear a diaper right now. It's you're in tune with their needs. You respect them as an equal in your relationship and your dynamic, and you're helping them meet those goals. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Jinx.
Yeah. You're both in timeout. I had a question.
Yeah.
So one of the things I think that I got nervous about early on in trying to take on this caregiving role is boundaries. So how do you set boundaries? Because you're both adults and you both have needs and you're both full human beings. And sometimes it can be, I think, tempting to think about caregiving as a one-way relationship where like one of you is taking care, the other one's getting taken care of. How do you set boundaries so that your needs get met, so that your partner is growing as an adult, etc., while you're doing this CGL relationship?
That's such a great question. It's something that I am still learning. I think when I started out as a caregiver, I felt like I needed to give like my full 110% to that part of me, and less to myself. And I found that it just didn't, it made the caregiving less exciting to me, because there was a point where I wasn't focusing on myself as much as my partner. And so in this past couple of years, I've finally started to communicate to my partner about my needs outside of the relationship. I'm a person that really likes their alone time, which makes it really weird that I'm a caregiver full time now.
Yeah.
But I love having that, and I feel a lot more free and a lot more available to be a caregiver now that I've asked for that time for myself.
Yes.
Whether it's video games, gardening, piano, writing music, those kinds of things fill my soul just as much as caregiving. And it took me a while to realize that as well.
Yeah. Oh boy, I'm so glad that you said that, because I found the same thing.
Yeah.
For the first, X number of months, I felt like I was auditioning. Like, am I going to be good at this? Am I doing a good job? Right. And so I just like went all out. And I think I was kind of a bad caregiver as a result.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't set boundaries. I hadn't made alone time. I hadn't taken care of myself.
You're afraid of getting blacklisted by all the ABDL directors.
That's right. Yeah, I don't want to get kicked out of the club.
Yeah.
But I was so thrilled to have such a wonderful partner and to be in such a great CGL relationship that I was like, I better not fuck it up. And so I didn't want to have an off button for caregiving.
Yeah.
And
I know.
that was a mistake because I burned out.
It burned out, exactly. You have to take care of your own needs first.
You do.
Fill your own cup, and then you can be there for others.
Yeah. And caregiving can be extremely fulfilling, but you have to create space to do other things so that when you engage in caregiving,
Yes.
that it really is coming from as you said, a full cup.
It should be a choice. Like, you two are coming together in this dynamic as a choice.
Yep.
It's not a need. Your partner doesn't need this to survive.
Yeah.
You know, if you come together and choose to exchange power and to have this dynamic and to have rules, that's what makes it really sweet. And that's where I never feel the pressure to keep doing it 24/7, because I know if I'm having a bad day or just can't stomach it right now, Toki will be okay.
Yeah.
And we will come together and talk about it afterwards and figure out what works best for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really resonates. Arsen, I don't know about you, but that really resonates with me.
It really resonates with me too. It's all about that communication.
Oh, yeah.
And not just communication, but knowing when you need to take a break. I think that's the part
That's
that was
so
really hard.
So hard. Yeah.
Well, and it is difficult because we're using a template in CGL, in particular in ABDL. We're using a template that is very familiar, which is a parent-child relationship. That relationship doesn't have an off button. I mean, it does. Like, as a parent, I can tell you sometimes you do just lock yourself in a room and like, go away, children, right? But when they're really little, it really doesn't have an off button. And so we assume that as a caregiver, there's no off button. But these are two adults, and as you said, this is not a fundamental human need for survival.
Yeah.
You should have an off button.
Yeah.
And you do have the right and frankly the responsibility to step away every once in a while.
Yeah.
And even on a regular basis, and just take care of yourself.
I want my partner to be empowered. I want her to be, you know, her own person, have her own dreams and ambitions.
Yeah.
And by having those, I can come to her and say, how can I help you with that?
Yeah.
Because that's my nature. I want to, you know, the acts of service, love language is like my thing. How can I help you meet those goals? But if you don't have any goals in the first place, that's tough. Right.
Well, and frankly, you are underselling and not doing a favor to your partner at that point either.
Exactly.
Because
you're not helping.
They are full, powerful, capable adults that you can be in a position to respect, love, celebrate, and admire.
Yeah.
But instead, if we're taking away that autonomy by saying, oh, you really need this full time, like literally I can't take a break, then you're robbing them of the ability to grow. So I think that is the balance that we strike.
And I think this dynamic really does lend itself to codependency if you are not careful.
Absolutely.
You have to be very careful. And that could be a whole different podcast episode, I feel.
We need to do it.
Well, I think we
should.
Yeah, follow up.
Absolutely.
And do you feel like codependency can go both ways as well?
For sure.
Absolutely.
That's the part, right? Like we all agree to it, and then you get into it and you go, ew.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like my example earlier of like, you know, I can't sleep without doing that. I can do that. I'm literally in a different state than Toki right now, visiting some friends. And I said yes because I'm not dependent on falling asleep with her, right? Yeah. But if I were, then that's where codependency can start breeding.
That's really a great example.
Yeah.
I do think admiring your partner is such a wonderful gift. And if you're in a space maybe where you're in a caregiver dynamic or you're in a caregiver little dynamic and you've lost that part, it's a good time to step back and go, am I becoming the full adult that I want to be? Am I encouraging my partner? Yeah. Like if you're getting into a place where you don't admire and just respect, like, oh my gosh, my partner is so cool as an individual. Yeah. That's a good sign that you might be falling into a codependent space. But you're right. We should do a whole episode on this.
I think so. Yeah.
That's really good. I would love to know, and maybe Foxie, I'll start with you. What are the magical moments for you in caregiving? What are the moments that this is the peak caregiver experience?
It's funny that this question comes right after the talk of growth as an individual. When I see my partners succeed, my husband succeed, when I see that, and whatever it is he's working on, not just on his big self or his little self, but also his big self, it's one of the most rewarding moments for me.
To see them grow, to see
them grow as a man, as wherever he is at in his life and at that time, just to see growth in all of it. And I think encouraging that sort of growth brings a huge abundance into your life as a whole, not just for that individual, but if you were in a relationship with that person, a true, not just a kink and you guys see each other all the time, if you're in a true relationship with that person, it brings true abundance to your entire relationship and you as an individual as well.
Yeah. It's interesting you said to see them to see your partner grow as a man and as a little. What does it mean to grow as a little?
Communicating what you need in that space, as we had discussed earlier. Finding comfort within yourself, and not just when I'm around, but when I'm not around, finding enough comfort to implement into that space whatever it is you want. Knowing that independence. I do communicate with a lot of people who have a hard time just being a little, because they don't have any experience outside of themselves. And so they don't find the joy within themselves. And I also practice communicating how to find that joy again when they're alone. It's so important.
That's so wonderful to hear, too. Something that I will admit is that I am starting a journey of discovering my own little self. And communicating as a little is so different than communicating as a CG.
Yeah, right?
Because there is a humiliation to realizing that, oh, I actually want this kind of attention from somebody. As opposed to, I am giving this attention to you. Yeah.
I'm thrilled. I'm so excited for you that you're on this journey, that this is something you're discovering. How are you beginning that process? How are you beginning to explore what it's like to communicate your needs as a little?
I'm talking to a lot of different bigs, and I'm talking about how it feels to be in that space. And something that really resonated with me, Foxie, something that gave me a lot of validation, was talking about your little communicating through pictures. And that was something that I started doing, and that gave me a lot of permission to feel those feelings as well, because it made it easier than words to talk about the things that I wanted.
That makes total sense to me. That's really smart.
I'm curious, ROI, in your own, dynamic with Lola.
Yeah.
I know you two switch.
Yeah.
So what have you learned about communicating as a little?
Oh my goodness, it's so much harder than communicating as a CG for me. It's so much harder. Like, the CG thing has been my whole life. It's been very natural. The little side has been, God, the most wonderful exploration, but it's been more difficult because I don't know how to do it. And so I'm sort of stumbling through it, which in and of itself is beautiful. As like, it's been a while since I've been bad at something. I'm pretty bad at this. And because I haven't tried, this new thing. And so one trick that I have learned is that I will text. So we have two chats. We have our sort of vanilla text thread, and then we have our signal thread. And our signal thread is only for kink stuff.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. And in the signal thread, if I text all lowercase, that's me showing up with a little dynamic.
Oh, that's so good.
Cute.
It's just a small way to be like, here's a thought from my little side,
without having to say I'm little right now.
Yeah.
Because that's the vulnerable piece. So like, I'm feeling little right now. Well, you can just start using the words, and you've talked about it. You know what that is.
Yeah, and it's okay. I can say that, but we've gotten to a point where I can just text lowercase because that's easier for me.
Yep.
It's not as scary.
Yep.
And I'll just text in lowercase. Here's what I want, or here's what I need, or here's a thought I'm having. Yeah. And it's a little signal to her, and it's an easier way for me as somebody who's new to this to communicate. It's not so scary.
Right. As we're talking about caregivers, what sort of qualities does Lola bring to you that made you feel safe to explore this little side?
I love your questions, Teddy. I want to be on your podcast. This is really good. So safe is the key word. Yeah. She has created such a space of acceptance. I mean, Lola, acceptance, love, whoever you are is exactly what I want sort of space. Not just that it's okay, but it's encouraged. And I'm not used to that. That's a wonderful space to be in, because I too am a little afraid of what little is for me. Like, it's scary. And she's so good at being like, I want this from you. Like, this is growth. This is you becoming more of yourself, which is your entire life's purpose. And I want this for you. Yeah. And because she is so engaged and so big on, I want this for you, I feel like I got to bring it. And that makes me not only feel safe, but feel encouraged. And then every once in a while, she'll say something that is so reinforcing, like, I love putting you in diapers.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm like, holy shit, you do? You actually love
Right.
this? Oh my God. Yeah.
That's that reassurance, right?
Yeah,
It reinforces that you're doing the right thing
Yeah.
and that you are, as you said, safe in being this vulnerable.
Yeah.
It is hard to get there.
It is. And I would have thought that having been a caregiver most of my life, I would have been easy, like, to translate as a caregiver. Here's what I would want. So as a little, here's what I'm going to do. It didn't work. Like I needed her to show up in her way for me in order to feel
so different.
It's so different. It's so different. But I would encourage folks, I know people who are just pure caregiver. Awesome. Mm-hmm. If you've not explored what it feels like to be on the other side, try it out.
Absolutely.
You might not like it. You might hate it, in fact, and say, this is not for me. Great. But it is worth at least trying out to see, like, can I experience what the person that I'm with experiences?
Right, exactly. That empathy we've been talking about. If you can put yourself in their shoes and actually live that experience, it will make you a more in tune partner when you are a caregiver.
For sure.
That was my experience too. I mean, I went through a phase where I was exploring my little side in a tough phase of life. I needed that sort of comfort. Yeah. Right. And through that, I learned a lot about what it takes to be there, show up for somebody, and it's made me a better caregiver too. Yep. So I will definitely echo that. We're already over an hour, which, this is a short podcast, brief podcast. I don't know what happened. I actually recently tracked, like, in a graph, because I'm a CPA. I'm a nerd.
Had to graph it?
I added, like, every episode in a graph, and it literally just keeps going up.
I know.
The length of every episode. But before we part ways here, I'd love to ask our guests, what sort of advice do you have out there for somebody listening who would like to get more involved in the caregiving side of this wonderful world that we're in?
Going back to the gardening analogy, I would say start an herb garden. If you're unsure of whether you can handle a little in your life and handle that responsibility, because it is a responsibility, start an herb garden. Go for a month. See if you can keep it alive. Have you put it in a location where it gets the right amount of sun? Water it? Does it have the right fertilizer? If these things are enjoyable to you after a month, then maybe this is something that you want to explore, that you want to have with somebody. If not, maybe just get a cat.
Or a pet rock. Hi, Rocky.
Or a pet rock.
I forgot about your pet rock.
Still have him.
You still have him? Yeah. That's really, really cool advice. That's really cool.
That's
Foxie,
good.
how about you? Do you have any advice for people who are thinking about this?
I think if you're thinking about it, if you're intrigued with it, you should definitely give it a shot if you have the capability, if you have someone willing to be someone that you can take care of. It doesn't even have to necessarily be as someone who wears diapers. It could be someone who doesn't wear diapers that you want to just practice nurturing, because diapers isn't for everyone, but perhaps I have found, even with diaper lovers, nurturing can be a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Giving the little things to them that means something special to them can be a part of it. And that doesn't have to necessarily mean a book or a stuffy. It could mean a Red Bull for that particular person, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and implementing that kind of care into your relationship. And then seeing if it can grow into something else for you and for your partner.
Yeah.
And what that means to you both and what that means for you. And if that's something you want to continue to add into your relationship. And if diapers can be a part of it, amazing.
I keep hearing these themes of just starting slow, right? Like just
slow.
testing the water a little bit. I love the analogy of the garden, right? Just, can you take care of that? Yeah. Give it a shot. And then, like if you have an existing relationship, what sort of elements can you start sprinkling in? Yep. And I know for me, when I was still single after my first, divorce, or after my divorce, I turned to some friends, that I was close to. I was like, hey, would you like to do like a babysitting scene, essentially? Yeah. Right. It wasn't a long-term dynamic. It wasn't anything sexual. That was my boundary, right? Yeah. And so it let me kind of scratch those muscles and say, well, what do I like about caregiving? Like, I've never been in a CGL dynamic. What elements of this do I like? And eventually I got to the point where I could articulate very well what I liked. I put a story out there, basically a caregiver's dream day, written from my perspective of like, what would I love about this dynamic and what sort of day would I like? And I just reread it recently before we were, as I was preparing for this podcast. And I tell you, like 90% of that is my life now. But it's even better than I could have imagined, of course, because Toki has her own personality, her own dreams, and it's so much more rich than my story was.
Yeah.
But I had experiences with others. I was able to do it in a safe way. I was very careful with, negotiating and everything from aftercare to sexual side and all that. And then ultimately I got to a point where I knew myself well enough.
Yeah.
So if I'm hearing any kind of theme here around the parting advice, it's just go slow, learn about yourself, know what you want out of this, and then put that self out there, communicate that, and something good might happen.
That's
Exactly.
really good.
100%.
Yeah. And I do, if I were able to offer a small piece of advice, it would be when you're doing caregiving, whether it's full-time, part-time, remote, just keep in mind before every day that you set out to do this, that you are both whole ass people, that you're not stepping into a cartoon role of what a caregiver is. You, a whole ass person, are taking care of a whole ass person, and that both of you have full capability to do whatever you want with this experience. Yeah. That's the part I wish I would have gotten earlier, is like,
That's so good.
I don't have to sacrifice myself to this, and my partner deserves to show up as a whole person too.
Yes.
That's right.
That's the mistake I made early that I would encourage folks to remember. Just, you are both whole grown adults. Yeah. Now what do you want to do?
It really grinds my gears when I see online, if some little's, looking for a caregiver on a post and, just immediately calling, call me daddy, or, put on a diaper. There's no respect there.
Right.
There's nothing deep. There's nothing deeper behind that.
Yep.
So that's wonderful advice.
Find that respect, find that admiration, build from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find what you both get out of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's especially that.
Yes.
What are you both getting out of this? I would love to continue this for 6 more hours, because I'm just like, my heart is so full right now just talking about caregiving. It's been a while. I love it. But I know we can't do that as per your graph, Teddy. Arsen, if folks wanted to get in touch with you, is that something they could do, and how would you encourage them to do it?
Absolutely. You can find me on 2 places. On FET, you can find me as Arsen Scott. And on Instagram, you can find me at Daddy Reads to You.
That's cute.
I will just reinforce, if you get an opportunity to see Arsen do his thing, whether it's teaching, reading to you, just take it, friends. Oh, yeah. He is really good at what he does.
Thank you
Foxie,
very much.
You're so welcome. I can't wait for the next time we get to do that. Foxie, if folks want to get in touch with you, is that okay? And how would they do that?
Absolutely. So if we're just talking about if you want to follow my personal information, I'm Foxie and Bunny, and that's Foxie with an IE, and Bunny on Instagram. And I also have a Tumblr account. I know most people aren't on there, but for those who are, because I do still have comments and follows. Yeah.
I sure am.
Foxie, Mystique on there. So Foxie with an IE, and then Mystique on Tumblr.
Perfect. And you mentioned that's if people want to get in touch with you personally. What about, I know we started this episode by saying you were on the Pro Mommy episode. If folks want to get in touch with you about that.
I'm Miss Foxie Mommy on Instagram. That's Miss Foxie Mommy on Instagram. Okay. And let me check. I don't know what my Tumblr is right now, but I'm also Miss Foxie Mommy on FetLife and on Tumblr. Yeah. And I share links all across the board, so you could definitely find me.
We can find you in all the ways.
Awesome. All the ways.
That's so good. So, Teddy, thank you for bringing this fantastic topic to us, producing this episode.
Yes,
you've made my heart so warm, and huge thanks to you, Arsen and Foxie, for saying yes to a morning discussion about kink and caregiving.
Could not be more thankful. I hope this is a great resource for our listeners out there.
For sure. And we're recording this right before Father's Day, so it just feels totally on time. It's so good.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was such a pleasure to talk with you about all this.
For us too.
Yeah, it's a topic that's near and dear to my heart. And if anybody out there wants to reach out to me and talk about this, more than game. I am TeddyBear _ with me on Instagram, and just TeddyBear with me, no random things in the middle, on FetLife. And again, I have written stories about this topic. I am so glad to get this out there into the world. Yeah. And just reach out if you ever need anything.
We're going to have to put Caregiver's Dream Day as a show note. It's because it's out there, right?
It's
in
out
the world.
there.
Yeah.
Yep. It's on my Fed as one of my writings. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm Resonant Yes on all the socials, minus X, because fuck Elon. And if you want to get in touch with Love and Brief, you can write to us, loveandbrief@gmail.com, or our Instagram account. We put out every episode the day it comes out on Instagram, linked directly. So that is Love and Brief. That's it. That's the whole thing.
And then the FetLife group.
I love the FetLife group. Y'all.
Sometimes some early access you've been giving recently.
I did. I've been doing early access. So if you want to hear the episode before it even comes out, you can do that on our FetLife group. That's Love and Brief Podcast on FetLife. But it is such a privilege. And I look forward to other topic ideas. I had somebody reach out this week on Tumblr and ask me, hey, do you ever take suggestions for topics? And I'm like, that's the only way we get topics. Sometimes we come up with them, but would love to have your questions. We're going to do another question roundup. We do one every season.
Oh, so, I love those. You and Lola do a great job.
Yeah, thank you. We have a question roundup coming. So if you have questions for our question roundup, that's either advice or some way to navigate the kink or the community, or just you have a topic that you wish we would address, let us know. You can send them through all of those channels. But this has been a magnificent discussion, and this is another caregiving episode of Love in Brief.